This is a fundamental concept for students that are getting ready to study algebra, either 7th or 8th grade math students. The idea is that an input value is given and it goes into a process that gives an output value. Now the input value can go either into expressions or equations. It just gets substituted in and then the math happens and then a new number comes out. That's the output. So an example of this would be if, for example, we had the expression 2x plus 1, and we know x, let's say, is going to be 2. When we substitute 2 in place of x, we will get 2 times 2 plus 1, which is 4 plus 1, which is 5. So the input 2 goes in, and the output is 5. One example that can help make this easier to understand is what I like to think of when I think about input, process, and output is a factory. And let's say this is the factory, and inside the factory you have your expression 2x plus 1, and then your input was 2. Let's say that's your raw material. It goes into the factory, and then that's where we did the work, 2 times 2 plus 1, and then your output is your finished product, which was 5. Okay, in summary, the input goes in, a process occurs, either it can be in an expression or in an equation, and then the output comes out. The second fundamental concept for students going into algebra is learning how to solve equations. Solving equations is kind of the reverse of what I had mentioned before with inputs, process, and outputs. In this case, you have the process right here and the output, but you don't know what was the input that went into this to give you the output. You could find that by finding out what this x is, what number value it has. So to do that, you're just going to kind of work backwards based on what is here. For example, if there's a plus 1 here, you would do the opposite, which is minus 1. Now, you want to get this x by itself and remove the other numbers, terms that are nearby and in the same area. So, to do that, start with the outside. You can think of the outside as in what's the furthest from the x. Plus 1 is out here. You do the opposite to get rid of plus 1, which is minus 1. Now with equations, whatever you do to one side of an equation, you also have to do to the other side. So if I subtracted 1 on the left side, I also subtract 1 on the right side of my equation. And then I kind of tally up what I have now. You can draw a line underneath, and 2x is still there. I bring it down. And then plus 1 minus 1, they cancel. On the right side of the equation, 5 minus 1 is 4. Now I have 2x equals 4. To get x by itself, I do the opposite of this, which is the opposite of 2 times x. The opposite of 2 times x is divide by 2. I did it to the left side, I also do it to the right side, divide by 2. On the left side, 2 over 2 is 1. But you don't have to write 1 in front of x, you can just write x. And on the right side, 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. That means x is equal to 2. Solving your equation, we found out what x is equal to. 2.